Rachel Nichols was at the game last night, as was Lil Wayne. They saw each other. We'll see Lil Wayne in just a few minutes here on the show. But, Rachel, what did you make of LeBron's comments?
Well, look, it's always great to see teammates have each other's back, but he really didn't have to defend AD with the way he played last night, especially in the fourth quarter. He was attacking, got to the line 7 times. 13 of his 30 points came in the fourth quarter. And that is, of course, the Anthony Davis everyone wants. The criticism comes when he has the nights like he had on Tuesday. 1 rebound in a half, no points in another half. Cannot play like that consistently. You don't want LeBron to have to play 35 minutes in a game against a Suns team that, of course, had 2 of its stars missing. So, again, last night, Anthony Davis played great, exactly what you want as a Laker. It's just every Lakers fan, like Keyshawn next to me, thinking, how come he can't do this every night? I will say one thing, though. The fact that they did not go down 0-2 to start the season was huge. There was a lot of tension in that building going into the fourth quarter. They were down double digits. And the idea that after last year's 2-10 start, that they could start this season down 0-2, it was a lot of tension. And it was a good fourth quarter for your team, Key.
And Rachel, you're right. He did not have to defend AD based on the way he played last night. But it wasn't necessarily about last night. This is about the buildup over the years, right? Since the bubble, since the championship, the buildup. And you mentioned consistency. He hasn't been consistent in what we deem as big games, the Denver game on a Tuesday night. No matter what we say, yeah, we probably would have lost that game regardless because Denver was feeling a certain way. But the fact that he didn't show up from beginning to end like he did last night, you had weak competition last night. It was weak competition. It was KD that was out there. Outside of that, you mentioned, Rachel, the 2 other stars didn't even play for him. No. So he should dominate that particular game. But can you carry it over when you get to play against bigs that can actually defend or guys that can defend you and your toughness isn't there on the block and you're not turning around, bunny hopping and dunking on people and you're not going to the free throw line 10 times. You don't have 3 block shots. Can you do that? Yeah. Can you do it then? And if so, then great. You won't hear the noise. On top of that, not being on social media is a great thing for him. I think it's wonderful for all athletes to not pay attention to the outside noise, but it doesn't matter. Because you're going to walk past the television. You're going to have friends say, hey, did you hear what so-and-so said about you? It's just human nature, man. At some point, you're going to get that information. And if he allows that information to weaken his mentality, then we're going to have these same conversations. You're going to see Charles Barkley saying what he says. Yeah. You're going to see Shaq saying what he says. You're going to hear it even if you don't see it. And on top of that, the fact of the matter with LeBron had to say something tells me AD has heard this. Why would LeBron have to say it?
Well, LeBron was asked.
I
on national TV.
No, I get it. He's asked a question. He's responding to the question. But you can't tell me AD doesn't know what people are saying about him out in the streets. You know? But I'm glad we won. I'm glad we're not 0-2, so I don't have to listen to Skip try to create some narrative about LeBron not finishing the last 2 minutes of the game. Yeah. Well, he did finish last night, Skip. And he did well.
He shot 3 layups, and I was impressed because he finally did what I've been banging on this desk for him to do since 2004. Just put your head down and drive it. You're the greatest driver of the basketball I have ever seen, and you still are.
Fresh legs.
Yeah.
Fresh legs.
Freight train. And I was so impressed. I think Darvin wanted to take him out for a couple of minutes of the fourth quarter, and LeBron just flat out said no, because to Rachel's point, he knew the shame that would be heaped upon this franchise if they lost to the Suns to go down 0-2 without Devin Booker and without Bradley Beal.
Well, Skip, you're right that they actually talked about it at the start of the fourth quarter, that Darvin asked him, do you need me to take you out partway through this? What can you do? And Darvin was smart about this. He saved his timeouts.
He did.
So LeBron said, I can go the whole way, and Darvin gave him some very key timeouts down the stretch, and the Suns helped him out there as well.
And then Vogel helped him by challenging a play.
Yep.
So you got 3 little rest stops there. All right.
Good.
I was taken aback by how agitated LeBron was about this because he was ready to unleash if he got said question, because I'm going to reread the first line right out of his mouth. We don't give an SH about criticism about AD. And then he goes on to say that guys haven't fit. He's talking about guys in the media in general. haven't figured out. AD does not care. He's not on social media, so he doesn't see none of the crap. He rarely talks unless it's to us, and we don't give an SH either. So LeBron went out of his way to curse twice on national TV, and he is the shrewdest operator. He knows what he's doing. He wanted to drive home the point, we don't care. We have, to your point, we have his back. But it surprised me because, to your points, AD played really well last night, and he showed up in the fourth quarter.
You know, it wasn't about last night.
Yeah. No, I know
it's something that build up.
Yeah, I got it.
From last season into Tuesday, like Rachel said, it's that build up.
Yeah.
LeBron does his only role with AD. He doesn't need to make AD a better player. AD is a better player, right? He's a great player. He doesn't need to help him out on the court. When AD is cooking like he is in these clips right now, LeBron doesn't need to help him. The one place LeBron needs to help Anthony Davis seems to be his confidence and his consistency. So, yeah, regardless of how he played last night, if he gets that question teed up to him, he is going to shout it from the rooftops because that is his job with Anthony Davis at this point on this team.
And that's his leadership. And when you think about it, Rachel and Skip, LeBron James is essentially AD's coach, essentially, right? He's his mentor, his coach, big brother, what you could call it many different things. When he's going to him to get him to play better, it ain't just because AD is suffering and not playing great. It's also because LeBron is hearing the outside noise. AD may not be hearing it directly, but LeBron is hearing it. Whether LeBron's hearing it from inner circle, from other players and other teams, he doesn't want that for AD. So AD, when you go to somebody and you say, hey, man, you got to play better, you don't think that player realizes that it's coming from somewhere outside of LeBron?
Yep.
He certainly does. And I'm sure he heard it Tuesday, Wednesday. He heard it Thursday that he needed to play better.
Okay, so what happened at Denver? I'm going to reiterate. He scores 17 in the first half, which is really, really good against Joker with 1 rebound. And you're like, how could you score 17 and be 6'10" with 7 feet length?
Well, because you out there at the top, not down low.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we go to the second half. The game is still winnable. You cut it to 3 with about 11 minutes left. You're still down only 4 with 8 minutes to go. And Anthony Davis in the second half goes 0 for 6. He shoots 1 free throw and misses that. But my point is, where are you? Well, you don't think LeBron gets a little frustrated himself as much as he loves AD? You don't think he gets frustrated?
Yes, but that's my point, though, Skip, is he's telling him, he's letting him know and having a conversation with him because he's getting frustrated. He needs him to play better. He needs him to play better. When you have Nurkic out there, you got to take advantage of him.
Just do.
You got to take advantage of him and you, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I don't care about him shooting threes. Okay, he shoot him, he make him, he don't make him, whatever the case is. But when you that big with that length, I don't need you outside the square, man. I don't against this particular team based on their personnel.
Especially with Nurkic in foul trouble. But to get back to your point about Tuesday, Skip, look, what separates very, 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 very good players, which AD is, from great players is partly what's going on up here. And that doesn't mean that he has mental weakness or problems, but there's that extra gear, that extra level that the great players have that lets them be consistent and aggressive every night. It's a thing. If it wasn't a thing, there wouldn't be players who separated themselves out from just being very, very good to being great. And so far, he's still developing that. We've just seen it.
You know what I call that, though, in a short order, Rachel? Scared to fail. When you're scared to fail, you're going to do everything.
I don't know.
No, when you scared great players, when they scared to fail, Michael Jordan, scared to fail. He gonna shoot.
Hey,
he's not gonna allow somebody else to shoot. He gonna shoot.
Michael Irvin was scared to fail.
Scared to fail.
He was. He was driven. Yeah.
Well, look at Kobe. All he wanted to do was not lose, right? More than wanting to win. That's the difference. Kobe and Michael Jordan didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
And then you have players who really want to win, and that's
correct.
a different driving force. And by the way, those guys have won titles, but it's a different kind of player.
You know, you talk about the fourth quarter in Denver, not the fourth quarter, the second half, Skip, in Denver going to 0 points. You didn't shoot the ball enough. So if you don't shoot the ball enough, you only had 6 attempts. That's not enough. You're going to fail. And if I'm going to fail, I'm going to be the one that failed for myself by shooting the ball. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to fail because I don't want to shoot.
What's the current phrase now? He has that dog in him. Well, sometimes Sometimes AD does have that dog. I see nights when I say, look at that.
No, he does.
But
it's just
sometimes the dog comes and the dog goes, right? Okay, there was
but I need my dog to guard the house at all times, though.
Yeah, all times. I agree. There was a stretch last year from November 13th to December 13th. I know it was early, but go back and check it out because AD played 13 games in a row and averaged 32 a game.
Yeah.
He was the best player in the league.
Yes.
He went to Philadelphia and destroyed the man who was about to become the MVP, Joel Embiid. We're going to talk about him, his fourth quarter last night in just a minute. But the point was, AD was monstrous. How can you do that? Then I think he stress fractured his foot. I never could figure out what it was, and he misses 20 games, and then he never could get back in a groove. So who is he? What is he? Well, he drives Keyshawn crazy as a lifelong Laker fan because you never know exactly what you're going to get, except you did predict yesterday, coming off Tuesday, you're going to get that dog in him, right?
Well, yeah, but I also, Rachel, I also look at who they were playing in the matchup, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at Nurkic and I'm saying, okay, you got to take advantage of this.
You
do. You just, it's like me playing against a DB that I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this dude, they better not. I got to take advantage of it because if he gets the best of me, then what does that say?
Yeah.
And so I knew based on just looking at it and booking him being out, I'm like, he's going to have a really good game. Now, what about the next game and the next game and the next game after that?
Well, look, again, the reason the top 5 players in the league right now are the top 5 players is they have everything. They have everything. They have all of that skill that Anthony Davis showed in those 13-game stretch last season. They have all the skill he showed last night, and they also have the consistency, the mental approach. And again, I want to be clear. Anthony Davis is mentally tough. He has been through a lot in his career, and he has battled through it, and he has shown up, and he is an NBA champion. But there is a difference between top 5 and down from 6 under. And Anthony Davis has not reached that level yet because he doesn't have every single part of his game cooking every single night. There's a reason great players are great.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.